Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool.
So obviously it's been a month or so since the last time.
At least.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It's forever. But the last time, if I'm not mistaken, we're still trying to figure out what exactly was happening with the fireball and everything that was going on in the city. And it ended up leading you to him, a little bit of information about him and Nimblewright, who gave you the Nimblewright detector to hopefully find what exactly was going on. And using it, you were actually brought on over to the Garlhan's villa, in which case you got into a nice little fight with several different factions and ended up finding that they had something to possibly do with actually having their hand in the actual fireball in some form or fashion, or at the very least they know of the Nimblewright and what exactly it was doing that night. Past that, I believe that once you guys clear the compound, try to get as much information as you could from the Lord and Lady of the house. You guys ended up going back to your now fully complete tavern / inn, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of where we kick off, and also everyone again is level 4.
Nice.
With
If you
feet.
haven't done your dice rolls and everything like that,
I'm
that
a
would
chef.
be your chance. You're a chef.
You went chef.
No, I didn't.
Of course. 100%.
We're all chefs.
We're all
I-
sailors and chefs here.
I really thought about it, but I ended up going lucky. Was the one that
Nice.
I chose. Figured
I
it'll.
took some dragon thing.
Yeah, that one's not a bad one to do.
Anybody
Double
else
check, I
want to
don't
share
remember
what
which one.
they took at level 4?
It's been a while since I chose it, so let me double check here.
I took manifest wings.
Ooh.
Ooh, that sounds
We can
spicy.
fly together?
No. I can protect you though.
Oh, okay.
I just love that. No.
No.
No, we cannot.
Oh, I actually never finished my choice. Shoot, okay, it's fine. I'll do it now.
And I have the book if anyone needs me to look. Because some of them I was getting like roadblocked on trying to see details of them.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that's in just the player's handbook, which I mean, there's probably close to 20 of them in here, I can give you the full description of what it is if you need it, if you're debating between some.
Okay. Yeah, I just picked this one because for some reason, D&D Beyond only gave me like 5 options. Like there was only a couple, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds cool."
Yeah,
I'm cool
they
with it
limit a
though.
lot.
Hmm.
I'm cool with this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I ended up sticking with sharpshooter.
Good one.
So I think for mine, I'm gonna choose a feat. And I'm gonna go with Martial Adept.
Cool.
Hmm.
I'm gonna choose Commanding Presence and Ripazai. I think that's what
Awesome.
I'm gonna go with. Yeah. All right. That sounds good to me. I'm gonna go with that.
The Martial Adept is really, really freaking cool.
I figure
Yeah,
since I'm in everyone's face, I might as well.
I played a one-shot campaign where I was a fighter, and like you get to pick a bunch of stuff from that same list, essentially, like all the different
Battle
things.
Master?
And yes, that list, and there's some wild shit in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like it's hard to remember everything, but
Hmm.
yes, fun things.
Cool. We're ready to kick off then?
I think so.
Yes, sir.
Do it.
Awesome. So you guys are back at your inn. Thankfully, it seems pretty clean. Seems pretty nice and upkept. The one thing that I will just need real quick is someone just to roll a D100. Doesn't matter who.
You rolling it, Vale?
Oh, you go ahead. It's you.
Okay. Uh, 85.
85? Cool. I will take note of that. That will matter once I find the chart on it. But cool. 85. Awesome. But it's the start of a new day for you.
Okay. So where were we headed today? Because we just cleared out that compound. And
We were told of a man named Jarlaxle that was receiving the stone that we were chasing after.
Yeah, so
okay.
you guys learned about Jarlaxle. Sorry, forgot about that. You also did not catch the Nimblewright that was at the original compound either, or the compound that you went to. That originally took you to the Nimblewright detector originally took you to place where you ended up inside the people's house. Seems like the Nimblewright also got away during the process.
Well, we know of one location where the Nimblewright will be detected, which is the where we found Nim, but we need to figure out where his companion had ran off to. It's only been a few hours time, so I'm sure it could have gone well across the city by now, but I doubt if it did flee the city it would have gotten very far, if it could have gotten through the guard at high alert. Unless, of course, it managed to hop aboard a ship. That is a possibility.
Okay. Yeah, we should probably roll out and try and look for him. I wouldn't know where to start right now.
We have the detector. I would assume we should
True.
rely on that as much as possible, unless this one has a way of masking itself, unlike the other.
True. Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. So you guys are just gonna kind of do your investigation, pull the thing a few times, and see if you can find any sort of Nimblewright.
Yeah.
I believe that's what we're gonna do.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm flipping through my notes from the last session. Yeah, I think that's... Did you all want to stop and get any supplies? This could get dicey if we get into a situation. If we're potentially running all over Waterdeep.
Does anybody need anything? I think I should be okay.
Same. I feel like I've got
Yeah, I think I'm good.
adequate gear.
Any ball bearings?
Yes.
You
Yes.
can always use more ball bearings.
Always.
Well, as long as everyone's well stocked up and ready for potentially an... If we run into whomever this Jarlaxle is, we could be running into a trap if they know they're being followed after what happened at that manor house.
That's true.
Considering there's now at least 3, if not 4, or many more interested parties looking for this Stone of Galore. And this treasure store that's supposedly somewhere in the city.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think we should all be. I'm good. I'm good. Good to hit the road.
Hit the road, Jack.
Oh,
Cool,
we are
awesome.
backwards.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys end up leaving the inn. Obviously, it's in Troll Skull Alley. When you actually pull the Nibblewright detector, it gives a faint sort of spinning. It's not anything that's quick, but it's also not dead. That's just pretty much immediately as soon as you leave the door into the alleyway.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let's push on. Let's head that way then.
Do you want to head more like more up north or more east? If you go east, it will kind of take you further into the city proper necessarily. Kind of more into the trade district. If you were to go south, it would take you further down the northward, kind of closer towards the actual port itself. And then north would kind of be more in the healthy area, so to speak. That's where a lot of the field ward would be. Kind of some royalty is over that way.
Where were we at when we were fighting in the manor? The last one.
Like where the manor was actually located.
Yeah.
Also in the north ward.
Okay. What do you boys think?
Well, if this thing is looking to hop a ship and escape quickly, it would easily move east towards the coast. Apologies, west towards the coast. And if it does board a ship, or it's looking to exchange something and hide, that would be the place I would move to do so. There's quite
Okay.
an open area that we traveled with, going east into the plains and into the villages. It'd be a lot harder to hide amongst such a sparse area.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Head towards the coast.
Okay, so heading west into the sea ward.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Certainly, if I was looking to exchange something with a merchant or someone shady, we did find that thieves occupied warehouse not but a few days ago in that part of the city. You know, find thieves one place, you're going to find them multiple times.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Awesome. And I'm assuming as you guys are going west towards the seaward, Foghorn, are you flying or are you kind of overhead squeezing the number right detector? Or... I just know that's kind of what you guys have been doing previous. ODB.
Sorry, say that again.
Are you just flying overhead still?
Yeah, yeah, just scouting, just looking for anything suspicious. I'm in
Okay.
my medium armor, not my chain armor.
Sure. Awesome. Yeah, so as you guys are flying overhead, just going pretty much due west of where you are now, close towards the dockward, It is picking up a little bit. Um, it doesn't seem to really be any more or less faint than previous. Uh, it doesn't seem to really kind of be ramping up at all though as you go due west.
Hmm.
Is it staying the same or is it actually moving less?
It's pretty much staying the same. It does seem to be dissipating a little bit. As you go further west, it does pick up a little bit. You get the feeling that's because you're getting closer and closer to Nim, more so than you are getting closer towards a possible different nimble right. It seems to kind of be moving in the um, right path as you get closer and closer to the actual area where Nim would have been located.
Okay. Hmm.
And Nim was that church was in the southwest corner of the city, if I remember correctly. Or is it? Am I wrong on that?
I would have to look it up again. If I wasn't mistaken, it was in the in kind of in this weird area between northward and the seaward. That's what I have written down, but I could be wrong.
Okay. But we head south.
If we head south, we may be getting a false alarm from Nim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But if we head north and it continues to grow or dissipate, then we know that it's most likely not along the coast.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, and you would remember that the House of the Inspired Hand is actually in the seaward. It
Okay.
would seem if you are still going that way, you're just getting closer and closer to the House of the Inspired Hand, which is the temple where Nim was located.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have the map at all that we can pull
The
up?
map of Waterdeep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and quick here for you. It's a bit weird, weirdly shaded right now, but should be seeing it a little bit. It's
Yeah.
really weird and like kind of opaque. Oh, it seems fine on your screen. Cool. Yeah, so you would be in the seaward area right now. If you were to go south, that would take you castle and dockward,
Okay.
as well as up in the trade. And if you were to go north, that's what would take you into the field ward.
Hmm.
Okay. We're in the seaward now. We were in the north ward, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Nick, go ahead.
I mean, I guess we can check the field ward real quick since we're already here, pretty much. What do you think?
Are there any docks that are publicly known in the middle part of Waterdeep, or is it all just in the dock ward and the southern ward? Are there any other along the coast that are lesser used, or?
Actual known ones, no. Most of the area that's actually to the north is actually kind of not suitable for ships. It is very shallow. A lot of barges and everything kind of going throughout. As well, the ground itself is just way too soft to be able to actually reliably hold any sort of docks in the area. It's less sand and stone and more so like mud and really, really small like pea gravel almost throughout the water.
Okay.
Another option, if nobles are aware of this Jarlaxle, perhaps some of the more seedy individuals are aware of him. Perhaps inquiring in one of the taverns might turn up a potential lead. If we're getting
the dock ward.
Yes, we did find those group of thieves in the dock ward last time.
Okay.
Perhaps that same establishment we inquired about, the warehouse we went to, would know a little bit more. They seemed like they had less than savory clientele.
And we can talk to our sailor friends down there.
Yo ho!
Someone say, sailors.
Oh my god!
There he is. There he is.
Oh.
Top tier #1 sailor boy over here.
Yo ho, yo ho.
Let's go to the docks. Ship it.
Right, if everyone's prepared. ODB, I'm assuming you're flying around with the nimble right detector?
Sure.
Or
I forget who had it last, but I don't think it really matters. We can say I can have it, and I'm flying around with it.
We collectively say that Foghorn has it.
There we go.
It gets passed around.
No, I want it.
I'm just gonna make a hand signal and point southward.
Alright.
I forget the name of that bar that we went to. It was so many sessions ago.
Yeah,
Is it where we
Yawning
started?
No, it was that.
we talked to some shady people in there, and then, like in the back of the bar.
Yeah, we talked to the bartender behind closed doors.
Yes, right at the start.
That was like episode 2 or something.
Yeah,
The skewered dragon.
that's the one.
I remember that name.
I don't, but I believe you.
That sounds right.
That sounds like a D&D thing.
At the very least, we'll call it the skewered dragon.
Okay.
It doesn't sound
Okay.
like a trap yet.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm okay with heading that way. That sounds good.
So that was in the dock ward. So you guys are pretty much just gonna kind of travel south through the market, through the castle ward, kind of make your way all the way down.
Yep.
And I'm assuming as we go south, it's the nimble right detectors going off, but we don't know whether or not it's a false positive due to Nim.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, as you go south, you're just gonna naturally get a bit further and further away from the House in the Inspired Hand. So you're gonna start gaining an idea of it possibly waning or becoming a bit more active as you go further south. It gets more active. I'm gonna give you a pretty good idea that you're possibly getting a little bit closer towards another nimble right.
Okay.
But it might kind of wane a little bit before it picks up.
Okay.
If it picks up.
So I guess we're heading south towards the dock ward and the docks themselves. Towards the skewer dragon. As we're moving, is there any visible sign that the detector's growing stronger or going off quicker?
Yeah, so as you guys start going a bit further south in, to actually get to that actual, like, the other wards, the trade ward, the dock ward, I have to go down an actual main road, so to speak, of Waterdeep. And as you go down it, it seems to wane a little bit, just as you get further and further away from the House of the Inspired Hand. But as you start going further and further down, it does seem to pick up ever so slightly. And as you keep going south, it seems to really, really pick up. And as you kind of get in that weird area, it's kind of between both the trade ward and the dock ward. It's going off pretty quickly. Not as quick as what it could, but you're getting a pretty good idea of you'd be close to getting something, or kind of getting closer to something, so to speak.
Well, it seems we're heading in the right direction, because we're heading away from the inspired hand. So now we know we're no longer getting that false alarm. Seems I may have been correct that they're trying to escape via some seaward vessel, or they're hiding amongst the other riffraff in this area.
Okay. Yeah. So we're in between the dock ward and the trade ward, kind of. We're like right in the middle, sort of right now.
Yeah. Yeah. As that main road, it kind of branches off. You can keep going south from it, or you go off to your left, which would take you east or into the trade ward, or you can continue to go south. That would take you in the dock ward proper.
Okay. Starting to go a little crazy, so maybe we check into the dock ward first, head a little more south and see what's going on.
It wouldn't be able to go east. It would have to go through one of the gates without being seen by the guard, or having to pass through one of the gates, unless it can make itself invisible. Not to put that out of the question, but it's not something like it seemed like it would have done earlier. We would have lost track of it much faster.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like going more into the dock ward right now would be a good idea. Just trying to escape via vessel, then, that might be our best shot.
We'll make some type of exchange before it scampers off back to where it came. Or back to the manor house where it came from.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, so as you continue into the dock ward, you're just kind of getting closer and closer to the actual yawning portal. So it seems to be a lot more activity around there. A lot of people are leaving. A lot of people seem to be going into the yawning portal, or at least making their way over to the yawning portal itself. And as you kind of continue down, the number red detector does seem to be going off a bit more.
Around the yawning portal?
So you're not necessarily going into the yawning portal. As you kind of go south, you're along what's known as Snail Street, and that's kind of the major street in the dock ward itself. So you could kind of veer off, get closer to the yawning portal. You can continue going south, and that would take you more so towards a lot of the docks proper if you were to go down that way.
So we have one of two main options. Either it's truly in the docks, either trying to board a ship or pass along the prize, or it popped into the yawning portal
and hiding amongst
many
the
people.
patrons. Yeah. Maybe we head straight to the docks right now. Because that if it's gonna hop on something, it'll do it immediately.
If it begins to dissipate, we'll know that it's back towards the boss.
And yeah, then we can head back towards the bar and kind of corner it off.
I think that's an excellent plan.
Sounds good.
We confirm my suspicions in one maneuver without having to make two steps. I think we're going to continue to head south towards the docks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, as you continue to get closer and closer towards the dock and closer towards the water, the Nimble Red Detector is really picking up at this point. And as you kind of get down to the docks, it seems to be a lot of people are trying to actually set sail out of there for the day. And as you kind of continue down Dock Street, the further and further south you go, the more and more the Nimble Red Detector seems to pick up until it kind of puts you into one of the bigger dock areas. More by bigger dock areas, there's a lot of smaller ships. A lot of them are more so fishing vessels rather than any sort of trade vessels, from what you can tell, or anyone that's trying to do any sort of exploration or kind of go on longer journeys. But there are about a dozen different small fishing vessels actually in the area. Some of them have already left for the day, and you can kind of see them out a little bit further out at sea. However, there are a handful that are still actually in the docks. Seems to be getting ready to try to head out.
My guess is if they were this Charlaxle, there was a large, sizable exchange made. They're either looking to conceal it, or they're on a large merchant vessel. Are there any, like, large galleons or anything like that? Something that's being stocked up with goods or anything? Or there's being trade done around a ship?
Not necessarily in where you are now. This dock, while it does have a lot of space for ships, it has a lot of space for smaller ships to kind of be in that area. It's not one long dock. It's a lot of smaller docks that people can kind of bring their boats up to, tie in, keep it there for the day.
Foghorn, is there any way you can make a quick pass a little further out into the water to see if it's... I'm assuming if it's going off this much that it's still nearby, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not slightly out to sea at this point. If it is one of these smaller fishing vessels.
Sure. Let's do it.
But if it begins to dissipate, then we know that it's still here in the port.
Cool, so I go do that. Flap, flap.
Flap. Okay, so as you actually get out to sea, while there is a pretty sizable wall that kind of surrounds the actual harbor in that area, there is quite a bit of wind picking up. I think you're pretty strong aviator. Would that be the correct term? Or bird's flight? I have no idea.
Sure.
But you don't seem to kind of take anything from it as you kind of continue. And as you get further and further towards the harbor, the Nimble Red Detector slows ever so slightly. Still going pretty fast, but start to get the impression that maybe as you go further and further into the harbor, possibly whatever it is isn't going to be on one of the ships that's actually set sail for the day.
Alright, so I'll fly back and let them know, because I assume I'm kind of on my own at this point. So I'll let them know that it still was going hard, but a little dissipated.
Okay. So must be still here right now in our general vicinity on one of these ships, or just in the area. Any of these ships have any like shady looking folks around them putting things into the ships? Any kind of Like, I don't know, just kind of evildoers.
From what you could tell, I mean, there's a lot of more gruff individuals around there, but you don't get any sort of impression that they're any sort of evildoers in any sort of sense. More so that they're just kind of surly, well-worked fishermen.
Okay.
Are there any vessels that are stocking goods or unloading or loading up supplies, like they're looking like they're about to leave?
Yeah, so no one unloading any sort of supplies as it is still in the morning. There's a lot of people just getting ready for the day. Some people are carrying sails on, or not sails, netting onto their ship, basic supplies, possibly some small crates that could hold all sorts of different things. You get the impression that pretty much all of these ships do seem to be fishing vessels of some sort. Some have larger nets, larger hooks, lots of bait kind of going on to the ship itself. I guess, are you guys still on the actual dock street? Have you made your way onto the dock proper, or where exactly are we right now in relation to ships?
I'm in the air.
I'm assuming we're on the dock proper at this point.
Yeah.
If Foghorn was
Yeah,
flying
that's what I figured.
out to sea to look at it, to see
Mhm.
if they've left the coast.
Okay, cool. So everyone outside of Foghorn, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay.
Uh, 18.
7.
16.
Okay, so collectively about 14. 14 average. You end up hearing someone kind of rushing their shipmates along as the individual should just be saying, not sure who would have done something like this. Everything was kind of ransacked as soon as we got here, but should have been out about an hour ago. We have to get a move on.
And that voice was in common, or was it in...
Yep, all in common.
Okay. Did it seem like a male, female voice?
Yeah, so you would have known in a general direction where it's coming from, and you see an individual standing on the dock carrying a few boxes. Seems to be a human male.
Are they're working at a ship, or are they talking with anyone, or are they alone working or moving about at this point, from what we can see from this distance?
Well, you can see they're just kind of moving stuff onto the ship itself, talking amongst one another. Seems to be one human is talking to two other human, and they're all just kind of working together. Seems to be moving supplies, kind of getting the ship ready to actually go out for the day.
Are we talking the crates that they're moving, or the supplies they're moving? Are they in like small sacks? Or are they large boxes? Or are they just general bait supplies, things like that, fishing supplies?
So you can't get a good look at it, what exactly they're bringing on there. Some of them, again, are carrying kind of bigger netting. They're just kind of carrying a whole hodgepodge of different things. They try to get ready for the day. The crates themselves seem to be crates. Not anything big. They're able to carry them each individually. So it doesn't seem like that they're filled with like super heavy things or anything like that.
Hmm.
Don't look
Okay.
odd, but perhaps we can exchange some information, and I do have a trick in mind if they aren't interested in sharing what's going on, but do you gentlemen mind if I hang back for a minute and observe before approaching? Because if I speak them directly, this may or may not work. But
You want us all to just hang back and
no,
watch what's
no,
going-
no. I'm to maybe speak and ask what's got them in a kerfuffle. What they were talking about.
Oh, I have no problem going over there. Stay back. We'll go over there.
Let's not
Okay.
resort to that just yet.
What do you mean? I just want to go talk to a bunch of fellow sailors. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, we're all sailors out here.
Well, let's save the aggressive conversation for after they draw their blades.
Ah, the sequel. I got it. All right.
I'm gonna approach with Shiny. I'm gonna be approaching with him.
And I'm gonna observe from a maybe 50 or 60 foot back, just kind of just observing the ships and seeing what's going on from a distance.
Okay. So Abraxos and Nash, you're both in the ones that kind of go to the ship as Foghorn is still flying overhead, and Kai, you're kind of waiting back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
kind of on the main dock rather than one of the off branches.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang back and just munch on some rations, just as if I'm having breakfast as I take a morning walk.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Awesome. So as the two of you approach the dock, it's that same individual, same voice that you were hearing before. And he's calling out, Stram, we only have a couple more boxes. Get out of here. We'll just take another moment.
Okay. Hmm. All
You want
right,
to start
well,
this conversation? You want me to start it?
I'll let you take this one, boss.
You love to hear it. All right.
To the lead sailor. I'll use Druid craft to cast multiple puffs of wind as we're walking towards them. So like,
Epic.
we're just walking towards them. There's leaves falling and just puffs of wind.
Trying to
Just
make this shit as fucking anime as possible.
Flowers blooming besides us. Just maybe a couple puffs of wind. I'll be
That's
okay.
you.
No, this is great. I'm just hanging back, trying to look casual. This is completely distracting. This is perfect.
Yeah. As all this is going on, the individual that was talking sees these random gusts of wind going on, and he looks up and he sees some sort of large avian creature kind of flying overhead as you approach a ship, and instantly kind of just grabs, puts his hand to his side, just asks if he can help the two of you at all.
Yeah, I was just admiring the craftsmanship on this schooner. What was it? It's a 70, 80 footer. What do you got here?
Closer to 30.
Oh, I can't count. That's pretty small.
Are you insulting the size of my ship?
I just thought you were a fellow sailor, you know?
I am a fellow sailor. It's not the size of the ship.
The motion
It's
of
way
the
you
ocean.
handle it. The motion of the ocean.
I'm sorry I introduced this.
No, of
I need
course
a
not.
beer.
Size definitely doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's how you handle it. You look like you handle it well.
Of course. Can I help you? We're trying to get out to sea.
Oh, where are you guys heading?
To fish.
Oh. What kind of fish you trying to get?
Oh, whatever the harbor's willing to give us. We're a bit late today, so I doubt we're gonna get a whole lot of really great spots. But anything really, quipper, trout. Who knows? Maybe some eel. We'll kind of see what the sea's willing to give us.
I do love a good eel. Oh, you pour some syrup on that thing. Just
Trout. My favorite.
He raises both his eyebrows as he kind of shifts between the two of you, as well as keeping his eyes up towards the sky, as well as towards the armor-clad individual who's just eating whatever sort of goods he has from the previous day, standing on the dock. Falls on, makes a quick, swift motion to the rest of his crewmate to come on over and join him at his side.
While this is going on, I'm gonna walk away. Am I close enough that I could just head towards an alleyway, or kind of make a loop around a building without being seen?
Being seen by just anyone in general, or
Is there just a building where I could step completely out of sight and then come back around from a different direction?
yeah, so you could definitely go ahead and do that. There are a ton of different buildings and sort of small alleyways that lead to the actual harbor itself, into that little dock area. So you go up a little bit into the dock street and make your way kind of back around, almost loop back around if you would like.
I'm gonna step into the shadows of a building that I know I can kind of make just a 360 around, and as I'm doing that, I'm gonna cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
Uh,
What exactly are you disguising yourself
I want to
as?
I want to disguise myself as the manor owner from the previous night.
Ooh. I don't know.
I see.
I'm trying to remember his name. Hold on. I'm gonna try to mimic his pompous voice that pissed me off so much as best I can.
Oh my god, that's right. He was a condescending asshole. I remember him. Oh god.
Yeah, that was
missed that part.
Lord Garhand's
Yes.
name.
Yeah, that was after you left. He was just a dick. He basically was trying to talk all this shit. I'm like, you ain't fucking nothing.
I'm gonna grab a beer before we start this.
Okay.
I just grabbed one. Sorry.
You're good.
Give me one sec. I think I can cast this innately once per day without using a spell slot, so... Yes. I can cast this or speak with animals once per day without using a spell slot.
Okay. Cool. So you're gonna disguise yourself as Orund.
Yes.
Name Orond. Okay.
So I got 1 hour. It appears like Lord Garhund, but it's not it's not corporeal, it's not physical, it's just the cover of it. But I'm gonna do my best to try to mimic his voice.
Mannerisms and everything. Okay.
Yeah, and his mannerisms. As I come back around from a different direction, so it doesn't look like I'm just coming out of the same spot I just went into. And I'm
Okay.
gonna look around like I'm, heated and, frustrated, as if I had just been swindled. And I'm gonna look around as best I can. Is there any reaction from the... As I'm gonna kind of make my way towards the rest of the group in the docks, is there any reaction when... I'm trying to make it obvious that I'm looking for someone.
So they do. The whole dock kind of looks your way as they're not used to seeing someone in sort of upscale, almost noble garb. Sorry. As you come around, you have an actual cape that is kind of broached via gems. Your actual undercoat seems to be a lavish purple. As well as your coat itself is actually nicely lined. Seems to be something that they wouldn't see someone that is more so about his appearance to others rather than the actual functionality of his clothing. And that's something that you just don't see a lot, especially at this hour in the dark or the dock ward proper.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of speak loudly so, a good amount of people around me can kind of hear my frustration to just the closest sailor I can find or fisherman. Have you gentlemen seen a clockwork person, a Nimblewright, as you may know them? They were in the festival. I'm looking for the little creature who was supposed to return this morning. I was told he was coming this way. Have you seen such an oddity in this area? I could make it worth your while, please. I'm in quite a hurry. My time is valuable.
There's a lot of murmurs going on from the people that are finally actually on their ships getting ready to go. The individual that was previously talking to Tenach and Abraxos kind of looks and just says, "What the fuck is going on?" He seems to be very confused as something like this never seems to happen. He seems just very, very concerned.
The person that Abraxos and Tenach are talking to?
Yeah.
Is there from this distance, can I tell if there's a sense of recognition in his face?
In the person that they're talking to?
Yes.
No, you don't seem to get any sort of idea that he would be clued in on anything. He's an individual from another ship that does step off, and he looks over and he just goes, I did see something up on the ship when we were talking earlier. I thought it was a spare animal.
What kind of animal? The size of a human?
I don't know, I wasn't taking note of the damn thing. I was trying to get back and try to get anything that I could back to any sort of merchants that were willing to take our catch.
Did you see which way this animal went?
Onto the ship, to my knowledge.
Into the water?
Ship.
Into the ship? Goodness me, if I have to clean this damn thing again, I'm going to lose my mind. Spent way too much money on it as it is. Thank you for your information. I'm going to toss him a gold coin.
Gold is quite a bit, and he kind of looks at it and thanks you for absolutely nothing that he would have done.
If that refreshes your memory or the memory of your shipmates, please come and find me. I would love to know more about this creature and where it's gone. That is a fraction of the money it's about to cost me if I can't find it.
He looks around and again just points at the ship. This would be the ship of the individual that Tenach and Abraxos are currently talking with. Talking.
My head's gonna turn, and I'm gonna just give this glaring look at the person they're talking to, and make a beeline towards them. You there? Have you seen a mechanical man stumbling about or misplacing itself? I was told it had come aboard your ship. I need to find it immediately. It owes me something.
That's between you and the mechanical man. I'm just trying to get out to the actual harbor at this point. I don't know what you're speaking about. Who are all of you?
I am Lord Garhund. My time is very valuable, and I can tell you you're wasting it right now. I want to know, did you or did you not see a mechanical man? Again, I can make it worth your while, as the longer I wait, the more of my time and resources it wastes. So I'll ask again, have you seen this creature? And as I'm doing this, I'm kind of just looking around, kind of giving a dirty look to everybody as if I, recognize them, but then kind of giving a very serious look to the ship, hoping somebody picks up on it.
I mean, a dirty look as if you recognize the people.
Yes.
He looks around and he goes, your time might be valuable, but I am just trying to get out to sea. And the more and more minutes that clock by, the more and more my catch is going to be limited. If you want to actually speak with me about something, you'll have to do it as we work. He looks to his left and right and just goes, what else do we need? And his two crewmates kind of turn and begin to walk.
Onto the ship?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I need information, and I have coin. Let me aboard your ship temporarily. I'll pay you for your time. If what you tell me is valuable, I'll pay you. If not, I'll still pay you a smaller amount. That way you don't lose any of your time that you could otherwise be fishing. And I could potentially get the information I'm looking for. The more you tell me, the more valuable information you exchange, the more you could potentially make. Is that equitable?
I suppose so. You can certainly come aboard the ship. I don't have any information to provide, but feel free.
Can I tell
Don't
if
mind us.
he's...
We're just gonna continue to work.
Can I tell if he's being truthful?
You can make an insight check.
Come on, baby.
Oh, it's not good. 6.
Yeah, this guy seems to be as honest as a day is long.
Well, to not waste your time and mine, I'll simply be frank. Jarlaxle. Does that name ring a bell?
Shakes his head. I have no idea who you're talking about. What exactly are you looking for?
A mechanical man. One that owes me a good amount of money and hasn't returned. Either because it is too stupid, or it was commanded not to return with my payment. Either way, as obviously I'm not in a mood to share more. All I know is it was supposed to return early this morning and it did not. And now I'm being told it was aboard your ship at some point.
It might be. I told you you could come aboard the ship and look.
Good. You gentlemen. I'll pay you to escort me aboard this ship. And I look to Tenach and Abraxos. I'm in a hurry. Will you join me?
And sure, why not?
Do you consider yourself a sailor? Yes.
No, but I pay good money to have experienced sailors beside me. Will that
I
work?
accept. Yes.
Very well. And I'm just gonna scoot by this man and head towards boarding the ship as I toss a couple coins to Tenach and Abraxos as if I'm, paying them. There's one to start. There's more as long as I remain safe aboard this vessel. Come along.
Okay. It's a pretty small vessel. Again, it's around 30 or so feet, and it's very simple. On the back end, seems to be a very sort of makeshift this area that someone could actually go in. There's one sail. Around the sail itself is a whole bunch of different rope for tying in and anchoring to a particular location. And then kind of closer towards the front, that's where a lot of the boxes are kind of located itself.
Do you exchange goods, or do you just a fishing vessel? Are you a merchant ship? Looking to the man we've been talking to thus far.
I believe fish are good. I sell fish.
You store anything below deck?
In the bilge. What could we possibly store in the bilge?
I'm gonna look to Tenach and Abraxos. Gentlemen, these are fine garments. I don't wish to sully them by exploring deeper into this ship, but I do need to check. From what I've been told, that my quarry could have gone into this vessel to escape. Would you gentlemen check it for me?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
And I'm gonna do it in the most pompous tone I can think of.
I just look at you like.
Go ahead and make a performance check for me, Kai.
Shit. And the bullshitting stops.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have a fat +0 to performance. But it's okay, because I rolled a 19.
Oh, sick.
Okay. Yeah, this guy, as he, kind of turns away, under his breath, he's just kind of making all sorts of murmurings, a lot of choice words that suitable for a sailor, but kind of a lot of 4 or 5 letter expletives kind of coming his way.
Nice.
It's okay, that's what I said about Lord Garhunt, too.
As kind of gives a bit of an opening of his ship, his 2 crew members continue to kind of stock and get everything ready for the day.
Well, gentlemen,
Yeah, I'm gonna head down there and start looking.
what we're looking for is a mechanical man. I don't care if he's covered in this bilge filth or a giant pile of shite. I'll make it worth your while if he's down there and you find him.
Just nod. I'll just nod and head on down.
So, this isn't a huge ship, and the bilge doesn't have a whole lot of room underneath. It seems as though as you open up the door to kind of get there, it's maybe only 3 feet down to the bottom, and it extends kind of from the front to the back of the boat itself. It is pretty dark in there as well. The bilge is more so just to make sure that water is able to kind of get in and out, and it's not really used for storage at all.
Okay. Are there any candles or torches down there?
No.
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 Okay. Okay. I'm gonna start trying to. Well, I could always light my torch I have. Yeah. I'm gonna pull out my torch and I'll just use Druid craft to light it. I'll just light it real quick and start, rummaging around, looking around, seeing if I see any mechanical man parts strewn about.
Okay. As you do that, as soon as you light the torch, suddenly you see a rapier are coming straight for you. I'm gonna need basically initiative checks from everyone. But I will need to know your AC if you have it off the top of your head there.
17 for me.
17? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Abraxos, you're with me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Your boy's a 19, AC 20.
Hey.
Let's fucking get it.
Ooh,
I used all my luck on that bullshit.
21 initiative.
Oh, nice. I got 7. That's with a +5.
I got a 6 with a +2.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm waiting for ODB to come crashing through the deck. Hey, what's going on?
Just dive bomb straight down.
Just dive bomb straight through.
Just put a hole in the side of it and it starts to sink.
And we'll be on a battle timer.
Yes.
Oh, you guys got 30 seconds.
I'm sorry. Johnny, you said you got a 19, right?
A 19, sir.
Sir, thank you.
I got a 21.
Awesome. Need bull right. I have to get their initiative roll here. I am 11. Okay, so immediately this thing just seemed to surprise you as it goes to take a immediate swing at you, trying to go ahead and actually stab you as soon as that torch came about. You said your AC was an 18?
17.
17? Okay. So one attack does hit you.
Okay.
It's just an immediate rapier attack. And that's awful. It does 5 damage to you as it seems to just kind of catch you immediately along your actual face as it tries to take a stab at whatever it could find during that moment.
Okay.
Do, however, get to go ahead and make an immediate attack at this thing.
Sick. So I'm going to swing at with my mace, I suppose.
Dick.
Right in the dick. Shit. 10.
Okay, 10 misses, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It seems like that there's not a whole lot of room inside this actual thing, as you're kind of hunched over, making your way through, sloshing through a little bit of water in the process. And as you take a swing, it doesn't seem like you can get a whole lot to it.
Okay. It's fine.
I
Did you want to do anything else?
That was just my reaction, right? It was just or
Oh, I'm
was that
sorry.
my
So
turn?
this was your actual part of your initiative roll. This was your turn in
Oh.
combat.
Oh. Dang.
you were actually trying on this one.
Yeah, I thought
Sorry.
it was a reaction. I was gonna do
Do you
something.
need
I
to
would have done
reset
something
that?
else then. No, it's okay. I already. Yeah, it's okay. I thought it was
Can
just
you
like
do
a.
something as a bonus action?
I don't really have much to do as a bonus action. Well, I can. See here. Yeah. Not really. I mean, I could wild shape into something, but yeah, I think that's it. I'll just go into a kind of defensive stance, I guess, and prepare myself for battle. Yeah, pass turn.
Okay. That would leave Abraxos. You're up next here. You're also kind of in that bilge area. Very cramped. Not very cool.
Very cool. Not cool. All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy yet. I'm just gonna try to go for a regular hit on him with my war pick. Yikes! Not good at all. 11.
Oh.
It was
Yeah.
almost a 19. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. So kind of the same thing. There's not a whole lot of room there. And it's almost as if you don't really have a whole lot of room beside Tenach, as the build itself comes down to a point. It's kind of the lower hull, as it's the bottom of the ship. Not a lot of room to swing safely in there, and you just can't seem to actually get close to hitting the fight itself.
Yucks.
Did you have anything else that you needed to do?
Nah, I'm gonna hold for everything else in the meantime unless shit gets crazy. But right now it's okay.
Okay. So the nimble ray goes to make another rapier attack, and it seems to be pretty nimble. As it seems to be swinging pretty quick here. Unfortunately, with the speed, it's not able to make any sort of attack there on Tenach itself. And as all this is going on, people above deck start to kind of hear this going on, and he just kind of screams down, "What are you doing down there?" As he starts to kind of lean his head in a bit further. That would mean that Kai, you are now up, looking quite noble.
We're just palling around,
What is going on down there? What?
doing a little wrestling.
You said the head sailor, or the owner of the ship, is sticking his head in the hole to the bilge area.
Yes, at this point he's very, very concerned about what's going on in the ship.
Does he seem to be concerned that he doesn't know what's going on, or does he seem to be concerned that somebody's found something he didn't want them to see?
This guy AFK quick.
Okay.
More so that he's just confused.
Okay.
He has no idea what exactly is going on.
Am I able to just push past him like a pompous prick and just step down into the bilge?
Yeah, you absolutely could kind of
Okay.
go ahead and push him aside and make your way into the bilge.
Okay, and down there, is it really dark down there, or is it lit by? Oh, it's lit by Tenach's torch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have a
Yes.
torch.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna step down there. I'm gonna try to get around the guy so he's looking at my back and that kind of billowing cloak. It doesn't say anything on disguise self whether or not if you attack the spell dissipates. From what I'm reading, I don't know. I'll leave that up to your interpretation.
No, it doesn't. You're kind of in that same area, just lasts for a duration. So you're always gonna kind of look
Okay.
like him, unless you are willing to give up the disguise itself.
Okay. And it's not a concentration spell, so if I were to use another spell, would that dissipate? I would need to drop it, or
No, so it basically lasts until the spell ends,
okay.
or until you are willingly giving up that disguise.
Okay.
So you, for all intents and purposes, are Orland, unless you want to switch that.
Okay. With that in mind, since he can't really see what's under, I'm assuming that you said I had that billowing kind of robe that's kind of going down. He can't see. I'm going to, as I'm coming down the stairs, pull out my longbow from below the cloak, hoping that it's long enough to hide it or look like I was hiding it.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm gonna turn. Did you say it was the Nimblewright, or it was some other creature that's down there?
It seems to be the Nimblewright
Okay.
itself as you make your way down, as it's a little bit more lit.
Okay.
You see something that looks very, very similar to Nim that you saw actually at the temple itself.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna, as I'm pulling the longbow out, my and I'm grabbing an arrow at the same time. I'm gonna cast Zephyr Strike. But I'm gonna take my first shot without the advantage. And I'm gonna use Sharpshooter.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna use the advantage yet. So that's 12 plus 7 minus 5's 14 to hit.
Okay, 14 does not hit. As you're trying to make your way, make sure you don't hit your allies in the back. You're trying to kind of angle your shot. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of room down here at all, as everything seems to just be kind of hitting on the side of the ship. Starting to make kind of scratches in the side of it at this point. As a war pick, a sword, a couple of rapier shots, and now a arrow has kind of hit the actual hull itself.
Damn creature. And I'm gonna take my second shot. This one I am gonna use advantage on.
Okay.
With Dread Ambusher. 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
So that's with Sharpshooter, because it was a 16 plus 7 minus 5. So basically plus 2.
Cool. Adds 10 damage to the actual attack itself, correct?
Yeah, it'll be the D8 plus Dread Ambusher, which is the extra D8 plus the Zephyr Strike. So that's 3D8 plus 3 plus 10.
Okay, cool.
Come on. 24 damage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Inexplicably, the only thing that's hitting this thing in the small area seems to be an arrow. As you kind of pin the Nimblewright itself, You kind of hit in what would be the shoulder area of a regular human, and it seems to kind of make its way into one of the joints of the creature itself. And as it kind of moves back, it seems to be hurting quite a bit, but it's still standing hunched over in this area.
Okay. And I'm gonna. How much further can I move back before hitting a wall? Preferably.
Maybe about another 5 feet. The actual trapdoor area that you would have went down to get into the bilge itself is at the back of the ship, and so you can go ahead and move just a little bit, where you're just kind of past that actual entryway.
Okay. So I'm gonna move back against the wall, and I'm just gonna shout, "Damn it! Damn creature! Where's what I was promised? Where's my money?" Just again sounding like a pompous prick. Trying to ruin this man's reputation as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, everyone seems to get this impression that this guy is an asshole, but weirdly also a quite the marksman at this point. As one person is still looking his way through,
Douchebag with a bow.
wondering what exactly is happening.
Perfect.
Cool. That would mean, Foghorn, you are still, to my knowledge, in the air over the ship.
I am. Would I be able to hear any of this commotion going on? It sounds like somebody on the top deck was yelling down to, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, no, you would 100% hear this, and as all this is happening, everyone's eyes are kind of fixated on the ship and all this commotion that's kind of happening.
So yeah, I will... How much movement would I need to use to be able to get to where the homies are?
So, depends on how... But you have 60 feet of flying, if I'm not mistaken?
50.
50? So it depends on how high you were actually hovering above everything that was going on. But you are pretty much directly over the ship, so long as you're not, at an astronomical height for whatever reason. You'd be able to pretty much fly in and kind of make your way down into the, at the very least, onto the ship, and you would probably have enough to actually make your way into the bilge as well.
Okay. I mean, I would like to use as much movement as I can to get as close as I can. I'll leave it up to you to determine if that means I can get all the way up to enter the fight, or at least for my next round I would be a part of the battle.
So you could for sure get onto the ship. I can't imagine that you would be flying too terribly far overhead above everything. At the very least, enough to kind of miss masts and everything that was going on.
Right.
So you're probably about 25 or 30 feet above everything. You could definitely make your way onto the ship, landing pretty close to where this opening is at this point, as light is kind of pouring out of it from Tenach's torch. So you have a general idea where it is, so you could definitely go ahead, fly in, or at least fly close to the actual doorway of this, and make your way down into the bilge itself.
Okay, I would like to do that.
Okay, cool. As you fly in, yeah, you see the exact same commotion. You barely avoid this poor man whose ship has just become a freaking battleground at this point. And you see exactly what's happening. Two friends in front of you, and you can kind of make out that there is again this mechanical construct of some sort in front of them, holding at this point a rapier in one hand and a dagger in the other.
Okay. I'm gonna hit him with
Leave it at that. I'm gonna hit him.
yeah.
I'm a him.
I'm gonna smack a bitch.
I'm going
gonna
to
punch this motherfucker.
I'm gonna use guiding bolt.
Cool. Love guiding bolt.
That is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, 23 definitely hits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hot, hot, hot.
It is a 4d6 damage.
About to smoke him.
14 points of radiant damage.
Okay, cool. And then with Guiding Bolt, next attack upon this thing, regardless of who it's from, has advantage, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so suddenly, this thing that is pretty well lit at this point because it's not that big, suddenly light just kind of starts to billow out of the actual trapdoor as the actual head crewman suddenly just kind of shields his light, and it's almost like all of you guys kind of got a little bit of a flashbang effect as this sudden just bolt comes out of nowhere over both Tenach and Abraxos, your shoulders, as it just catches the nimble right directly in the chest area, and it kind of staggers back a little bit, and somehow inexplicably it seems that this thing is lit up itself a little bit as well.
Sweet. I'll stay kind of where I am because like that has 120 foot range, so it's not like I am right up in his face. So I would like to be somewhat at a safe distance.
Well, yeah, so you're about 20 or so feet away from this thing.
Cool.
But at this point is not looking too good, as the little chunks of wood and nuts and bolts seem to kind of be falling off into the shallow water underneath it. That would mean we're back at the top of the order, back to Tenach. Seems like while you weren't able to do a whole lot to it, everything else is just absolutely destroying this wooden figure.
Yeah. So it's looking pretty rough.
It's looking really rough at this point.
Okay. All right.
5 extra gold if you crush it to pieces.
Oh. In that case, I'm gonna turn into a bear now.
No kill like overkill.
I think I'm gonna cast a ice knife at it. Yeah, I'm gonna cast an ice knife at it. So here we go. 20.
20 definitely hits. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This ice knife
Ice knife.
Ice knife.
floats on it, correct?
It create a shard of ice and fling it at one creature within range. Hit it for 1d10. Piercing damage, hit or miss. The shards then explode. The target and each creature within 5 feet. Oh.
You can do this. You're right up against this thing.
I'm glad I
You can
stepped back.
definitely do
Well, I didn't know that part, so can I alter
You
my
can definitely change it up if you would like.
Okay, let me see if I can do moonbeam here. Let's see.
Ooh.
What was that?
Yeah,
Like
I'm
pulling the
gonna-
pin on a grenade when you're right next to your target. Hold this.
Talk about fucking overkill.
Okay, I'm gonna
Killing
just try
the mob
and poison.
and his friends.
Yeah, we would have all taken 2d6 damage if we didn't succeed at
Oh.
the dexterity save.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and poison spray it. Con save 13.
Classic. Well, you said 13 on that?
Yeah.
This boy. Not beefy enough. It rolled a 12.
Yes. Yes. 9 damage.
9 poison damage.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So as you go ahead and do this, the impression that it's this weird mechanical construct. So you would think that poison spray wouldn't be able to kind of do anything to it, but it's made of organic material. So it seems like when the poison spray hits, it slowly starts to seep into the pores of the wood itself, and almost begins to bubble from the inside. And during that process, it seems to just kind of crumble apart in every sort of area as this thing suddenly just seems to fall apart. And it just seems to be in all sorts of pieces now at the bottom of the bilge, but completely taken out at this point.
Sick. Got him.
Oh, yeah, so this thing's dead.
Nice.
Hopefully you didn't melt my gold. Where's my money? Or where's what? Is it carrying anything? Kind of just, again, trying to keep the pompous prick act going.
Relax, my guy. We just killed it. Hold on.
My time is precious. How much is yours worth?
Whatever you pay me. Chill.
I'll write you an
Dang, bro.
IOU to Lord Garhunt.
Dick.
I'm gonna ruin this man by the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this thing's dead. People at this point, both the crewmen, or all three crewmen, trying to peek their head in at all, making sure not to get in any sort of crossfire. And one of them just screams, "What is that?"
It's none of your concern, sir. We're looking... It has something I want. And if it doesn't, good riddance to it. Because it was a poor investment. Can I walk towards it and see if it had anything on it?
Mm-hmm.
Like or
Yeah.
we kind of search it. Does it have any money on it, or does it have the stone that we've been told about, or something? Any messages, or that we didn't melt with poison?
Yeah, so as you get up to it and you kind of wade your way through the little bit of water at this point, you end up seeing a piece of paper that's kind of folded up, and as you unfold it, it has an X located in an area actually in the trade ward itself, and it has a name underneath it. It says Fenris Stormcastle. But that's all that you see. You don't see any other distinguishing notes or anything about it. Just the X in the name.
Hmm.
And that's all it seemed to have on it, was the note with the X and the name.
Yeah, that's all that you can see at this point.
Hmm.
At all, rather.
Damn little toy. Ugh, what a worthless trinket you've been. Ugh, I'll have Jalaxel's neck when I find him. Gentlemen, if you'd like to make some additional coin, come with me as quickly as possible. We need to find these people. I'm gonna kind of step up, as hoity-toity and angrily as I can out of the bilge, and just shake off my cloak, or the fake cloak, as much as possible. Like, any damages you can report to the Garhunt Manor. I will pay for them in full. Plus any minor upgrades you would like to your vessel. Looking at the owner of the ship. Just speak to Orlin Garhunt. I will personally see to that you are thoroughly compensated for your time.
shrugs his shoulder and says, "You're throwing out gold to everyone else."
I'm sorry, I didn't carry a lot with me at the time, but I'm in a hurry. As I said, you can come to my manor, and I will pay you there.
Yeah, yeah, you already passed the performance check. Yeah, this guy is kind of dumbfounded by everything that kind of happened. He wasn't necessarily expecting a ton of people to board a ship and attack anything in the bottom of it, no less some sort of mechanical construct. But as you all leave, he just seems to be taken back and almost speechless at this point.
Sir, I'm telling you I'm going to pay you. I appreciate your time and the use of your vessel. So, I'll be on my way. We haven't gone out to sea yet, have we?
Oh, no. This guy was not going to leave port at all.
Okay.
Everything that happened was messed up.
Because that would have been an awkward ride back.
And we're just standing there on the top, just like, yep.
Just angrily at the bow of the ship. Gentlemen, I still require your services. Come along now.
What about me?
Yes, you with the flash of light. You're quite a fighter. Come along.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna head back towards just north in a general direction as hoity-toity as I can until I find a street that's less populated and head towards a dark alley.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there are a ton of dark alleys just off the way.
Okay.
At this point, as you are all walking away from the dock, suddenly a ton of the town guardsmen are kind of making their way through all the commotion. And as they get to the dock itself, they're trying to just kind of keep everyone from leaving, make sure that no one actually goes into the city itself, leaves dock into the harbor. They're trying to get a better idea of what exactly was happening. But they narrowly missed you guys.
Nice. Sweet.
Once we're in a dark alley, I'm gonna drop disguise stuff. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, everyone has the impression of what had happened, and as you kind of make your way a little bit further, there are sudden murmurs about that you start to hear. Yeah, Orlin came down there. Orlin was in the dock. Orlin was some shady creatures were down there. Seems like that you did a pretty good job
Yes.
of everything kind of going on.
Fuck that guy.
Sweet. Now he's gonna have people knocking on his door for money too.
Exactly.
Hey, fix my ship, asshole!
Goddamn arrows and war pick holes in my hull.
Use the bathroom real quick. Look.
100% worth.
Yeah, so at this point, you guys just had that map. And again, it's just an X at a place in the trade ward itself, where it then had a name underneath it of a Fenris Storm Castle. As that you had never heard of this person, you don't have any sort of idea of who it is, why they're actually on the map at all, what kind of connection anyone could have had to the individual. This is the first time you had heard of this person, to your knowledge.
once we're kind of out of sight and, in a less populated area, I'm going to pull the map out and kind of spread it over the ground with, in a area where we can all take a closer look at it. Any thoughts, gentlemen?
I know some.
We should go towards the X.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
And then Stormcast.
Oh, by the way, is the device thing now quiet?
Yeah, at this point, it's still going pretty slow.
Okay.
Yeah, seems like that once you dispatch this thing, whatever was going on previous isn't happening again.
Nice. Cool.
We have one dead Nimblewright and a new name. Storm Castle.
Yeah, it was in the trade ward?
That's what the X seems to indicate.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess
So
we'll
we,
head that way and see what we might find. And perhaps we can ask around. I also need to keep track of how much coin I was throwing around in that fight. I really
think it was
didn't.
Somewhere around like 7 or 8.
Something like that. We'll just go with that.
Oh, whatever coin you gave me.
Whatever, so
I'll just hand it back to
increased
you.
my gold count by 4.
Damn it.
I'll hand mine back.
Roxas, you're buying breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, I'm buying my own breakfast. I don't know what you're gonna do.
Fair enough.
Oh no, I'll give it back. Here you go. It's for the performance.
Glad you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, you made quite the dickhead. Then flip it back to you.
It was worth it. I hope he enjoys all the knocks on his door from the city guard and all the people we just inconvenienced.
Awesome. So exchange of money. You guys have this nice little map at this point.
Well, I guess we'll...
Your tweet you posted, Shiny.
I tweet. Oh, the thing of her for Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
Yeah. Sorry.
The immersion, it's broken.
My bad.
My immersion. No.
Well, I guess we'll head towards the trade ward in this Fenris Storm Castle.
Okay. It's a fairly detailed map. It seems like someone put a lot of time into actually making sure that whatever was going on with this thing and why exactly it was marked, that it would be easy to find. So you know that it's kind of in a little bit of an alleyway. It's right off of the main road of the trade ward, kind of tucked back a little bit in an alleyway just right off of that main area.
Yeah.
Are there any shops or any signage in this alleyway or going towards it? Like, does it look like we're heading towards a tavern potentially, or a shop, or somebody's home?
Yeah, so as you're getting a little bit closer, you do end up getting really close to one of the main colossus of Waterdeep. It's a gigantic stone statue That's a male human, or what you would perceive to be a human, in full ironclad armor, along with a really ornate shield. But that's just off that main road as well. So that's kind of a landmark of the actual trade war itself. Past that, there's a lot of different guild halls in the area, a ton of different taverns and inns. You see signage for the Gentle Rest, which is a bit of a more upscale inn in the area, as well as there are some bars and taverns, like the Inn of the Dripping Dagger, the Grey Serpent, Unicorn Horn is another inn in that area.
Cornhorn?
Yeah, we'll call it the Corn Horn.
The corn horn.
Yeah, the
They
Corn
have
Horn is in
corn
that
horn.
area.
I'm going with the cornhorn.
Oh yeah.
Do they give discounts to foghorns?
Yeah, it seems to be almost like a namesake of some sort. Distant cousin, distant relative of some sort. But I mean, all sorts of signage kind of in that area, especially off that main road. Seems to be a lot of things that are just trying to take some possible weary travelers, people coming in from the actual dockward in for the day, or for the night rather.
Seem to be a lot of inns and taverns in this area. Perhaps before it headed for the docks. This is along the way from the manor where it fled. Perhaps it made its exchange, or it made its exchange if that name was well documented, and then tried to flee as perhaps a stowaway on the docks. Perhaps its contact was here. It seems to be bouncing around. Maybe this... Either the name Jarlaxle was a ruse all along. It's changing hands to mask where it's going. This stone seems to be quite in popular demand wherever it seems to appear, which makes sense.
They could have given it to Fenris, to Stormcastle over here.
Perhaps trying to disguise its tracks as it moves through the city. It's a rather ingenious way of disguising itself, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Are we getting closer to where the X be on the map?
Yeah, so as you're moving through the trade ward, you're kind of making your way up north from the dock ward itself, and as you get closer and closer, the actual Colossus is coming more and more into view, and you're getting really close to that actual alleyway where an X would have been located.
What do the people in this area look like? Are they just typical citizens? Are they merchants? Are they rowdy or tavern goers? Do they look more shady? Just is there a general vibe of the population in this area?
They seem to be pretty normal people from everything that you would kind of expect to see in Waterdeep at this point. You are kind of getting closer and closer to the Ionian Portal, so you see a bit of people that you would assume to be in some sort of factions, whether that be Xanathar, Zentrum, people that are just kind of travelers as well, looking for a place to stay, things like that. But you don't get any sort of impression that anyone's like any evildoers or anything like that.
Okay. Just general people of Waterdeep. Or a mixture of different walks of life.
Yeah, from everything you can tell.
Okay. It seems we're getting closer. as we, are kind of moving closer and closer to this X, I'm, really looking for any discernible, other than the giant colossus, which is discernible, I would assume from a far distance at this point. Any other more acute landmarks? Signage
Nothing,
thing?
nothing that you would necessarily take note of outside of just the normal shops throughout the entirety of it. Some basic markets as well that seem to be purveyors for a few of the inns, a few different meat shops, basic fine importers that get stuff from the actual dockward ships coming in from travelers, things like that.
Okay.
The X, is it kind of in the center of the trade ward? Like what what kind of segment are we looking at, or proximity to particular items on the map, just so we're aware of where we stand?
So, as you kind of study it a bit more, there is a main road that kind of runs north to south along the trade ward itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Way of the Dragons, and as you look at it a bit more, there's actually road names on the map itself that you were able to gather. One of them is Telshabra's Street, and that kind of connects two major roadways together. And then from there, there's Sar's Alley. Seems to connect directly to Lil Sar's Alley, is where that X is located.
So it's at that intersection of, what was the two streets?
Sar's Alley.
Yes. Yep. So the two major streets that you'd be looking at is the Way of the Dragon, which is the one that runs north to south along the entirety of the trade ward, and then you would have coming off of that Telshabra Street, which connects the Way of the Dragon and the other road, which is known as the High Road. And then coming off of Telshabra's Street is Lilasar's Alley. And that's kind of where that X is located.
Okay.
And this alley, is it pretty narrow? Is it kind of a... I mean, I'm assuming compared to the main street, it's very narrow, but... Is it in between, taller buildings? Is it kind of hidden, tucked away from the main road, or is it still kind of visible if you were right on it from the main road?
So none of the buildings in the trade ward itself are particularly big at all.
Okay.
At most, maybe a few stories itself. Outside of some of the major halls and kind of more religious temples in the area. But it's not anything that would kind of take away. The alleyway itself, you want to be able to see it from either the main streets, the High Road, or the Way of the Dragon. But the street that kind of connects the two is enough to kind of have reliable traffic going through on either side. And with the alleyway, it is a little bit smaller than Telshabra Street, but still enough to where people can easily pass. Different sort of carts can kind of go to and from, but it would be from the main road itself, disguised. The alleyway seems to kind of go to a lot more, maybe the back way of different shops or just basic homes in the area.
Okay. Seems like a fairly indescript place, somewhat hiding in plain sight. If I was running, I wouldn't. It seems like a trying to make an exchange and be unseen. Seems like a fairly easy place to access, yet still be unseen.
I agree.
It certainly is an area of heavy trade, so it wouldn't go amiss among the other shops and curios being passed back and forth, and trade changing hands. Certainly would be an easy place to exchange a small trinket such as this and not get noticed.
Hmm. Oh.
So at this point, we've reached the alleyway.
Yeah, if that's where you're reliably going, you would kind of make your way into the alleyway, closer to where that actual X is.
Okay.
Sounds good.
But as you kind of round the corner, it is quite quiet back there. That impression that you got of it kind of being a really secluded area for some sort of exchange seems to be 100% true. You do see one building that seems to be kind of peculiar because the door of it is wide open. While everything else seems to kind of be private residence, this one door is wide open, but you don't hear anything coming from inside itself.
Hmm.
Is there a shop sign above it? Like it should be open, or is it just an unmarked building with an open door?
Pretty nondescript. No sort of signage or anything.
Hmm.
Any sort of impression of this would be a shop at all.
Hmm. I think we have our location. There's a wide open door. It's not a storefront, so either somebody didn't care when they went in, it's abandoned, or either way, we should be perhaps a bit more cautious. But I think we found our
Yeah.
location.
Yeah. Let's carefully approach the doorway.
Door?
It's open, you buffoon.
Ah, you should close it.
It doesn't need to be destroyed, Abraxos, but I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Fine.
We'll close it for you after we leave. How about that?
Perfect. Thank you.
You can blow it off its hinges on the way out.
You candy is, I will.
Are there any windows that I can see above the door, or is it a single-story building?
This is a single-story building. As you kind of take a look at it, there is that doorway, and there would be a window kind of making its way out toward the alleyway itself that you're currently in. But it seems like there are shutters on it that have almost been nailed shut.
Hmm. No, it definitely looks abandoned.
Hmm. We don't hear anything coming from the building. No. Nothing.
Nothing.
All right. Oh, who wants to go in first?
It depends. Do you want to go careening in head first, or do you want to try to get the element of surprise? Or do we look to see if there's potentially another entrance on the other side?
That would be smart.
So the building itself kind of backs up into another building, like a very, very small separation between the two. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like this would be the only entrance or exit out of the building itself.
Other than the window that's boarded up?
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay.
Well, if it's our only entrance, then stealth is sort of out of the question.
Oh, Abraxos, do you want to take the lead?
I thought you never ask.
Okay,
Alright.
so you're just gonna kind of make your way through this open door.
Absolutely.
Okay. So as you enter, you immediately notice that the entirety of this area is just ransacked. Seems like that there was some sort of struggle as tables and chairs are flipped. The whole kitchen, every single cabinet, everything in it was kind of pulled away from it. And there was some sort of struggle as well, as there is blood in the kitchen, as well as actually on the wall itself. It seems like someone used that blood to paint some sort of a circle with kind of equidistant lines kind of rotating around it. You would know this as the sign of the Xanathar Guild. But from everything that you can tell, as well as the blood that's kind of running down, as well as just the stench in the area, that the blood is rather, I guess, fresh, so to speak. It seems like that this, whatever would have happened in here, would have happened actually within the day so far.
Oh, looks like some shit went down in here.
I'm rather tired of dealing with these Xanathar. And I'm not opposed to killing when necessary, but it's not necessary to spread the gore about. Certainly not spelling one's calling card all over the walls.
They're bird people, right? The Xanathar?
Them themselves?
What's that?
They're just a hodgepodge of people. They aren't necessarily like just bird people. They're like dwarves,
Yeah.
humans, drow, elves, kind of a whole bunch of different.
You said it was it's like a well-known thieves guild in Waterdeep, or criminal organization.
Yeah, especially lately, as there's been more and more, kind of, I guess, almost like gang warfare, so to speak, between the Xanathar and the Zentharum. They're becoming a bit more brazen, and so people are kind of more on high alert of everything.
And what was the symbol again? What is it shaped like?
So the symbol itself is just kind of in a circle.
Okay.
There's usually a dot in the middle to signify a beholder itself, and then it kind of has just lines coming from it that are all kind of equally spaced apart. 10 different lines going about it.
Okay.
But it's more or less a signal of, or a symbol that's supposed to represent a beholder of some sort.
Okay.
Is it common knowledge that there's a beholder involved with the Xanathar, or
Yeah, the leader of it would have been known. It's known that it's the leader itself is some sort of beholder. As far as names, if they're currently still alive, they currently run the guild, that's kind of up in the air. But from everything that people know, it was at the very least started by some sort of beholder.
that would explain that hideous creature we found in the sewers. Eye
Is
stalks
there
and
anything
that.
else of note in this room besides the blood drawing?
So nothing of note necessarily. It just seems like everything was just kind of strewn about. There wasn't a lot of possessions itself. Just seems like whatever had come in there ended up causing a commotion. If there was someone in there, ended up kind of taking them out against the will, and then possibly was looking for something inside the actual home itself.
Hmm.
Are there
Hmm.
any corpses, or is it just fresh blood? There's not any bodies or anything in the home?
No bodies, no nothing. Just seems like pretty fresh blood. You don't notice. You do notice a little bit of a line that had been going out the doorway that you had come in from. That
Mhm.
seems to just kind of be one actual bit of blood itself.
Kai's gonna follow that blood out the door, and he's gonna look to see if it's heading in a particular direction. Is it? Can he tell from the? Does it look like it's like somebody's who's been wounded and stumbling or trying to escape, or if they were dragged, like a body was dragged, or something of that nature? I'm trying to see if the movement was intentional or if it was forced or they were fleeing. Just whatever I can glean off of the movement of the blood.
Let's go ahead and make a perception check.
Uh, 22.
So kind of leading out the actual alleyway itself, it's just kind of a pretty long, I guess, trail of blood that's kind of smeared on the actual wood floor itself. It feels like that someone was actually carrying someone out into the alleyway. But once you kind of get to the dirt, it's kind of more obscured.
And this is dirt over like a cobblestone road or just a dirt road?
It's off the main actual area,
Mm-hmm.
away in the alleyway, so it's just a regular dirt road.
Does it look like there's any tracks or there was continued bleeding or drag marks or anything that looks like signs of movement coming from the house or going somewhere?
Nothing that you necessarily are able to take note of. It just seems like maybe some small droplets of blood are actually on the dirt. But there are, like, from what you can tell, 3 small actual footprints, or rather 3 sets of small footprints, kind of continuing out towards the alleyway, back to where you had come. That seems to possibly go on to one that's past that.
And the footprints, are they, can I tell, like, are they small, large, normal, humanoid, medium sized, or are they like a creature's paw prints, footprints?
Oh, just regular small footprints.
Okay.
From what you can tell.
Well, it seems we have our path in a general direction, at least for the time being. This trail seems fresh. We should perhaps pursue it if we are chasing after this stone.
Yep. Yeah, let's hit the road. Let's try and follow this trail.
I'm just gonna cautiously, but intently try to follow any blood signs, any footprints, drag marks, anything I can see that's guiding us to a general direction.
Yeah, so off of Ulthar's alley, it goes in at Telshaber Street, and as you kind of make your way into it, you notice a fairly tall woman seems to be making their way directly over towards your group. Again, tall woman, walking very gracefully in a emerald green cloak, and she immediately kind of makes her way over to you. Says, "Were you looking for Fenris Stormcastle? I believe if you were, it's to."
What was that? You kind of broke up. I didn't hear that.
Oh,
Wait.
Too late.
Sorry. Yeah, too late. Sorry.
This woman, is it a human woman in a green cloak, you said? Or a green gown?
Yeah, in a green cloak. Yeah, tall, just a humanoid woman. From everything that you can tell, sorry, an actual human.
Okay, and from what we can see, is she's human.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you know Fenris?
Not so much know him, but know of him. He has something that I desired.
What a coincidence.
Penis.
Oh.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst other things, maybe.
Oh, ma'am, you can find that anywhere around these parts. I know plenty of sailors. What would it be that you were looking for from Fenris? If you don't mind me asking.
Of course, he has something, a sentient magical item in his possession known as the Stone of Galore. Tells of a large cache of gold in the area that was previously embezzled by another open lord. I'm sorry, my name is Laurel Silverhand. You would know that name as another open lord of Waterdeep from your talks with Rainier earlier. But she says it's quite well known that this is now a thing that has previously been of legend that seems to have made its way up, and we're just trying to figure out what exactly is happening with it. Perhaps you could help us retrieve it.
It will keep fireballs from going off in the streets and killing potential, friends and customers and neighbors, and I'm absolutely for it.
Do you know who might have attacked him?
From everything that I was able to gather, it appears that the Xanathar got to it first. But unfortunate, I believe they would have been looking for the stone, as it seems like every single major guild or faction in Waterdeep is trying to find this at this point.
Are you more familiar with the Xanathar? We've come across them multiple times, but to find where they're stationed or they go to roost seems to elude us. It truly is with the Xanathar, then I can only imagine if they dispatch Fenris, then the stone is in their possession at this point.
The Xanathar like to keep underground from everything that I've been able to kind of figure out. To my knowledge, they're in the sewer systems. Kind of runs all throughout Waterdeep underneath, and can't say for sure that there would be one over the other, but from any sort of intel that we were able to gather, there is some sewer access down in the northern sewers. It's up towards the actual northern ward.
Apart from that, I can't imagine that a city this size doesn't have a vastly complicated sewer system to gather all the storm and wastewater that moves through here. Is there any map or guidance or general direction down there? I mean, just the small portion that we entered was fairly complicated. I can't imagine the entire city. No wonder they picked the sewers to hide out in. Even a well-educated person wouldn't be able to find them quickly.
To my knowledge, more of the complicated areas are actually built by the Xanathar themselves. They needed comfortable hideouts throughout the entirety of the city, and so they decided to actually make it to where it was hard to find. Not a lot of people go into the sewers, so naturally they decided to make it their own place.
Can't blame them for doing it. If I was looking to hide, that would certainly be the place. Make it as complicated as possible to be found and have your own network of escapes in every direction. That being said, you did point us north. That does give us a general direction. Are you working with the city guard? Or are you...
No,
Or is this a personal matter?
Not personal. A lot of the open lords of Waterdeep would love to stop any further gang warfare from happening, but this large amount of money would be absolutely terrible to have in the wrong hands. Anything that we can do to make sure it doesn't get in with Xanathar, the Zentrum, or any of the other groups of Waterdeep would be quite advantageous to us as well as the city guard, and make their jobs quite a bit easier.
That's fair. It seems like at least some portion of our intentions align with yours. Are there other groups of this same mindset that are looking to attain this Stone of Glow and maintain that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, along with whatever cache of valuables it leads to? Or is this simply just various groups all with the same desires working in different ways?
I think it's everyone with their own desires, trying to figure out what exactly is happening, and trying to get whatever they could at this point. To my knowledge, I believe that Fenris worked for Jarlaxle. He was one of his spies in the city. Fenris previously had his own guild, and he was outed. He decided to take refuge here, and has been doing a bit of side work for several different organizations, being it a spy more or less, trying to blow and keep out of any direct combat, so to speak.
This Jarlaxle, this isn't the first time we've heard that name. Do you know who this person is? Have you met them before?
No one really knows who he is. Either they've never seen him, or if they've met him, he's kept a pretty good disguise. From what we know and what we've been able to gather, is the head of an organization called the Bregnan Duther. Past that, I don't have a lot of information. For someone that seems to be as prolific, he seems to keep quite low.
Bregnan Duther.
Never heard of that organization before.
They don't like direct conflict. They more so get their money in different ways, transporting illegal contraband, drugs, working on behalf of other organizations, but in a non-combative way. They don't want to get caught up in everything that happens between 4 of the, I guess, guilds that don't have a problem with conflict in the city.
Not a bad business strategy, but at the same time, they are involved. Like anyone that leads to the death of innocent people that have nothing to do with this petty struggle for wealth.
All the more reason to figure out where the stone is and get it off of the streets.
Agree.
True.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your time and the information you shared with us. We're going to continue this suit as long as we're not directly halted by more lawful organization, as it benefits us both monetarily and protectively, as well as benefits the people around us.
Of course, it seems like that we are on the same page.
Are there any other lords working beside you in Waterdeep that or anything that any other additional information or resources that you might be able to share with us to aid us in our tracking of this object?
It seems at this point, the stone has changed hands so many times. It's quite hard for us to keep up with everything, but any sort of information that we have, we can definitely try to find you and pass it along. But at this point, everything that we have is what we have.
That's fair. Oh, while you were here, there's a particular noble, I believe just a little ways north of here. He was involved in the smuggling and perhaps the direct destruction of what happened nearby us, the fireball that the city guard is investigating right now. I believe his gentleman, what was Garhunt, that was the one. He seemed like he was directly involved in this whole nasty business. I also heard recently he made quite of an ass of himself down in the docks. The gods may want to talk to him.
Of course, I'm quite familiar. He's one of the more wealthy individuals in the city. If there's something that had happened with the fireball and down on Dockwood, I'm sure that the members of the city guard are willing to talk to him.
That's good to hear. I hope if he is involved in any way that he gets his just desserts. That being said,
Of course, I'll make sure this happens.
Well, gentlemen, it seems like we have a new direction and a hot trail still fresh. We should perhaps be on our way.
Hit the road.
Thank you for your information, Laurel.
Of course, if there's anything else that we find out or anything else that we can do, please let us know. If you can find this, I'm sure that having the favor of an open lord in Waterdeep would certainly carry something.
Of course. It's always good to have the favor of an individual in high places as well as a friend in general.
She thanks you and carries on her way.
Well, I guess we have our next destination, gentlemen. Would you like to head that direction?
Yes, sir.
Do we need to stop
Let's
along
go.
the way and pick anything up, or Get any supplies?
I'm gonna have a little snacky snack.
Or
I'm
perhaps
actually
just
gonna grab a quick snack, real life. So give me 1 second, be right back.
Or perhaps a rest. I don't know if anyone is hurt from that last confrontation.
I am.
Yeah, I think that we're the only one to take any sort of damage there.
Yeah.
Val.
I got a free heal every day now though, so I don't have to rest. I can just heal
Okay.
myself for free. But
Well-
yeah, short rest is like 4 hours, right?
I thought it was 1.
Yeah, short rest would be 1 hour.
1 hour. That does that heal like half your health or something?
So the way that a short rest works is it takes that full hour, and it's exactly as it sounds. What you can do is spend some hit die as well. If you're in D&D, if you actually click up in the top right-hand corner, you can select short rest, and then you can decide how many hit die you would want to go ahead and expend. And then from there, you would more or less roll a die and then add your Constitution modifier, and that's how much you would heal for during that process.
Okay, so you can use that many hit die per day, or
Yes.
or short rest.
Yep. Yeah, and then once you take a long rest, you reset.
Okay. Cool. I'd be okay with taking a short rest. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that okay?
I
Yeah.
can certainly do that. And while you're taking rest and a spot of lunch, I wouldn't mind stopping and shop in this area and perhaps looking for something, a couple items specifically.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll
Before we do that, though, I desperately need to use the bathroom now.
okay. Yeah, that's what I just did.
All right, be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and roll my hit die. Short rest. Okay, I'm gonna use 1. Boop. Heal 6. Nice.
That takes you up to full, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, not too bad when you get like 4 or 5 hit die, however many you have.
And you get your hit die back, was it half per long rest? Half of your total?
Half of your total hit die back, or
Yeah. How do you get your hit die back?
I thought that you just got it back on a long rest.
You get all of them back?
A character regains some spent hit die upon a long rest as well. Whoa. Okay. The character regains all lost hit points equal to half the character's total number of them, minimum of 1 die. For example, if someone has 8 hit die, he or she can regain 4 spent hit die. So if you
Okay,
had
so it'd
4,
take 2
you would
long
get
rests
2.
to get, yeah.
Yes.
But you don't have to use all of your hit die at one
Yeah.
time. You
Yeah, I
can
just
get
used 1.
yeah, so you'll get that back
Yeah.
at
you can
If I
get
our
up
if I
next
used
long
only
rest.
2, I'll get both of them back.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's the way I've understood it in the past.
That's the way it's written in the book. That is not the way I've played it in the past. So. But
Works for
no.
me.
Yeah, that works.
As far as spending hit die,
Yeah. And getting them back.
Yeah, regaining.
yeah, you get them back when you take a long rest. But you can only spend
Yeah.
up to your total hit die, total per day.
Yeah, you get half of it back. If you have 4 hit die, you can gain up to 2 for long rest.
For a long
back.
rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, cool.
Um,
I'm
well, awesome. So, need to do this. I'm volunteering in an event tomorrow, and I have to be there at 4 a.m. for setup.
Oh,
Ooh.
So, I think rather than just staying up until 4 a.m., I'm probably gonna try to get some rest of some sort.
Yeah, do that.
So,
Yeah.
the good news is, after you guys found the nimble right, and we kind of go into this, I would say probably max, at the very, very max, maybe 3 more sessions, probably closer to 2. We have maybe 2 more sessions left of this, so
Oh,
round
okay.
it out at episode 12, possible. So
Okay.
Very
Perfect.
cool.
Perfect
the
anime
home
season
stretch.
right there.
Sweet.
yeah, right.
That works out great.
A perfect anime. Except for every episode is 3 hours long.
Yeah.
The perfect anime, yes.
So it's Lord of the Rings, the anime.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's us.
Is going to Amazon Prime member-ish. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you for
well,
the
thank
session.
you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Always
This
a
is
blast.
great.
It was
Glad
good
we
to play
were
again.
finally able to do it after so many weeks.
Oh
so
my god, I know.
I know.
fingers crossed that doesn't happen again.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Uh,
The curse has finally been broken. Let's just keep it broken. Let's not put that
Knock
curse
on
back
wood.
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
here's where it gets ruined again. So talk you guys in a month or so.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It's alright, I can
Yeah.
I can wait a month to ruin Garhunt some more.
Glad you
Uh,
have a vendetta.
Oh, that
Yeah, just a minute.
I wanted that so bad.
Yeah, that was good. I couldn't say nothing either. I was just like, I just gotta let him do his thing. Just gotta fuck around, you know? Okay.
I like that. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm like,
really
what's the
good.
most roundabout way I can fuck this dude's whole world up?
Yeah, that was
That
hilarious.
is a way to do it.
Yes.
I hope right now there's city guards at his door. And just a flock of angry sailors.
Where's my money?
Where's my money, man? Where's my money?
My ship
He has
is
all
sinking.
sorts of shit happening.
Yeah. All right, good sesh, boys. That was fun.
Indeed. Yeah. Thank you
Sure.
Yep.
for all the fun and the patience.
No problem.
Awesome.
Good to get back together again. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Sure. We can discuss what works out best, especially since Val, you're going on day
Sounds good.
shift again. So hopefully it will be a little bit easier for us this next time.